There are moments in life when pain feels too heavy to carry, when grief takes over, and the world turns dark. For Sister Wives, Love or Whatever's Mayci Neeley. That darkness nearly consumed her. But in her new memoir, Told You So, she reveals the light that pulled her back her son. "I don't think I'd be here without him," Mayci admits. And when she says that, her voice trembles, not from weakness, but from the memory of survival. Her story isn't just about tragedy. It's about the fight to live when everything around you falls apart. It's about choosing to breathe when your heart says it's easier not to. Mayci's journey began long before the cameras or the fame. For more than a decade, she dreamed of writing a book. Her father once handed her a diary and told her, "Write everything down. One day, maybe it'll become a book." At the time, she brushed it off. But as life tested her in unimaginable ways, those pages became her lifeline, a space to vent, to cry, to make sense of chaos. 10 years later, that diary became Told You So, a raw and fearless memoir that doesn't hold back. Every page is layered with emotion, pain, and hope. "I wanted to help other women," Mayci says. "I wanted them to know that no one's life is perfect, that even when everyone else looks like they're living their best life, they're probably struggling too." Writing the book meant revisiting the darkest moments of her past, the abuse, the grief, the trauma. She admits that some chapters broke her all over again. Revisiting the death of her son's father, Eric, left her sobbing for days. But she pushed through, because she knew her pain could be someone else's lifeline. "I didn't want people to read those things," she said. "But I kept thinking maybe it'll help someone else see the red flags before it's too late. Maybe it'll give them the courage to leave." Before finding peace, Mayci's life spiraled through chaos. One of her earliest relationships was abusive emotionally, physically, and mentally. She describes feeling trapped, like a prisoner in her own life. "It was so bad," she remembers. "I didn't want to die, but I didn't want to live like that anymore. I wasn't myself. I was just surviving." That relationship left deep scars. He had pulled a knife on her. He had drugged and assaulted her. The trauma was devastating. But today, Mayci speaks with strength.com, grounded, and even smiling. Not because it wasn't painful, but because she's learned to live beyond it. "I have dark humor," she says. "It's how I cope. When things are traumatic, sometimes I smile. It's not because I don't feel the pain. It's because I survived it." Therapy became a part of her healing, though the process was grueling. "It took me 6 weeks to process one event," she recalls, "and I had dozens of them. I told my therapist, if it takes that long for each one, I'll be dead before I'm fully healed." But she kept showing up for herself, for her family, and for her future. Mayci, I grew up in the Mormon faith. She didn't drink or party, but during her abusive relationship, she was led down a dark path of alcohol, drugs, and reckless behavior. "I wasn't educated on drinking," she admits. "I didn't have limits. I was all or nothing, and that's dangerous." When she finally escaped that life, she found hope again in Eric. The man who would become the father of her child, Eric was everything her ex wasn't. Fun, kind, goofy, gentle. For the first time in a long time, she felt free. "It was like being a teenager again," she said. "We never fought. Life felt light again." But that joy was short-lived. At just 19 years old, Mayci discovered she was pregnant. The news was overwhelming. She was a Division I tennis athlete with her whole future mapped out. Now, everything changed overnight. "I thought my life was over," she confessed. "I felt like I had let everyone down, my parents, my sister, my coaches. I felt ashamed." But nothing could have prepared her for what happened next. 13 weeks into her pregnancy, tragedy struck. Eric was killed in a car accident. Mayci was thousands of miles away when it happened. The moment she learned the news is still burned into her memory. The headlines, the photos, the police lights. "It was the worst day of my life," she says softly. "I still see it when I close my eyes. The blue tarp, the circle of police cars. That image will never leave me." Grief hit her like a tidal wave. "My body hurt from the pain," she says. "My chest? I didn't even know emotional pain could hurt that much physically." And yet, she had no choice but to keep going, because inside her was a life, a heartbeat that refused to let her give up. "There were days I didn't think I could do it," she admits, "but then I'd remember, I have a baby coming. I have to stay alive for him." That baby, Hudson, became her saving grace. "My book is dedicated to him," she says, tears filling her eyes. Because without him, I don't think I'd still be here. Her grief for Eric will never fully fade, but her love for her son became her reason to live. Talking about him, about Hudson, that's what gets me emotional, she confesses. He saved me. He gave my life purpose again. Motherhood changed everything. It made her stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. I wasn't perfect before, she admits, but when I became a mom, something shifted. I had to be better. I had to build the kind of life my son deserved. Years later, life brought Mayci another miracle, love again, this time with Jacob. He's the opposite of everything I went through, she smiles. He walked into my life when I needed peace. He became a father to my son, even though he didn't have to. He was only 20, but he was ready to be that person. I call him an angel. Jacob cried the first time he read her book. He's a girl dad now, she says, so it hit him differently. He doesn't ever want his daughters to go through what I did. Now, Mayci's life is full, happily married, raising 3 children, balancing chaos and joy with gratitude. It's blissful chaos. 3 kids, sports, school, a baby who sleeps 7 hours. It's busy, but it's beautiful. After everything she's endured, the loss, the trauma, the heartbreak, Mayci has found peace. She went from a 19-year-old single mother surviving on food stamps to a reality TV personality, a wife, a mother, and now a published author. Her past didn't define her, it refined her. I just want my kids to know they can do anything, she says. No stereotype, no mistake can decide your future. You can fall apart and still come back stronger. As for the future, Mayci says she's keeping her heart open. The book was my biggest dream, and now it's here. She smiles. So what's next? Maybe another book. Maybe hosting a show. Who knows? I think the possibilities are endless. From grief to grace. From rock bottom to rebirth, Mayci Neeley's story is proof that even in the darkest moments, light can find its way back in. Her message is simple, but powerful. You can survive anything if you find one reason, just one, to stay alive. For Mayci, that reason calls her mom.